Smoke incoming!
What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball recap, or why don't we just call it the MLB recap? It's so much easier. All right, the MLB recap. Let's go. I cannot believe that I'm saying this, but for the second day in a row, we're coming out with one of these videos. We have so much to talk about, so if you guys are bored, this is the perfect video for you. Do not go anywhere. Watch the full video and enjoy it. Yeah. Also, I'm wearing this jean jacket because it's absolutely freezing in my room. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, where do you live and how cold is it? Because I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is known for being a pretty warm city, but right now it's like 32 degrees. I am freezing. My brother won't let me turn the heat on because he pays the bills. Well, I help him pay the bills. That's besides the point. Let's just talk about baseball. What am I doing? So guys, the number one story from today is Troy Tulowitski, formerly known as Tulo. I don't like to call Tulo that anymore because I feel like that's his nickname for when he was at his best. Now he is coming off two. Now when I say two injuries on both heels. Troy Tulowitski was recently with the Blue Jays. He signed a massive contract. He actually got traded from the Rockies to the Blue Jays, and I thought that, you know, he was going to be amazing. Unfortunately, just like it has been throughout his entire career, injuries caught up to him. Again, he had surgery on both heels, so we'll see how he is going to progress in 2019. Now the biggest thing is he's 34 years old, but he just signed a deal with the New York Yankees. The reason why this is so big, Didi Gregorius, the man that they traded for from the Arizona Diamondbacks when Derek Jeter retired, he was supposed to be the next Derek Jeter. It hasn't really panned out that way, but he still had a pretty solid career with the Yankees so far. He is out. He dove into head first during a playoff run last year, and he actually injured something in his arm. I can't remember exactly what the injury was, but he's going to be out for a significant amount of time, so they signed Troy Tulowitski. Now, the biggest thing about this is everyone's been saying for the past week that Manny Machado is going to be the shortstop for the New York Yankees. So what does this Troy Tulowitzki signing mean? To be honest with you, I don't think anything. A lot of scouts have been saying that Troy Tulowitzki is showing promise in workouts and the fact that he is going to have a pretty decent 2019. So I think, in my opinion, if you sign Troy Tulowitzki and put him at shortstop, you can still play Manny Machado at third base. He played third base with the Orioles. Now he wants to be a shortstop. We know that. He played shortstop the entire season for the LA Dodgers, and he actually had a pretty decent season as well. So we'll see how this Troy Tulowitzki signing affects the grand scheme of things. Now, if you're asking me, the fuzzy expert baseball person, I would say that this means nothing. It's just a signing. I believe he signed for a league minimum of $525,000. So he is just trying to prove something, but I think that injuries, especially when you have surgeries to both heels, I'm not sure if it's going to pan out in his favor. I hope so, because Tulo is one of my favorite players of all time. I love his swing. I love everything about him. He has an insane work ethic, but you know what? I just think age and father time is catching up to him. Do you guys think that Tulo is going to turn into the next Derek Jeter in pinstripes, or do you think that he's going to perform like a 34-year-old and play very minimum, maybe give you a 270 batting average with 20 home runs or 15 home runs and 60 RBIs? If they can get that from him, I'm sure that they would take that every single day. Now, before we move on into the next story, because we have some big news to talk about as well, I do want to show you guys a highlight reel of Troy Tulowitski, because I feel like I was maybe a little bit too negative on the guy, but I want to show you how good this man was back in his prime, because I know a lot of you guys maybe haven't watched too much baseball, or my videos are your first kind of steps into baseball. So what I want to do is I want to roll the tape real quick, because I don't mean to sound too negative. I think Troy Tulowitski is one of the best shorts of all time in terms of talent, but you know what? Father time is undefeated. It sucks to say that, but it's the truth. So we're going to go ahead and show the highlights right now, because Troy Tulowitski, Mr. Tulo, back in his prime, he was the truth.
This ball is high and deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. And that's back up the middle. Could be two. There's a flip. How do you like that play? Glove flip from LeMahieu to the bare-handed Tulowitzki.
We have some very, very interesting news to talk about right now. So, Manny Machado, like I said earlier on in the video, it has been reported for the last week that Manny Machado, it's a done deal. He will be going to the New York Yankees, and then they signed Troy Tulowitski, and then, here's the big thing. I'm not sure if it was like the Yankees' main Instagram account or if it was the Yes Network. If you guys don't know what the Yes Network is, it's kind of like the broadcasting channel for Yankee games. So if you ever want to watch the Red Sox versus the Yankees, you go to the Yes Network. So what Manny Machado did is he followed the Yes Network, and a lot of people saw that. There's a feature on Instagram, there's a following tab, where let's say that you're following Manny Machado, and you can see the pictures that he likes, you can see the people that he follows. So a lot of people saw and noticed that he followed the Yes Network, and everyone's going out of their mind because people are kind of putting two and two together. If Dan Clark says that his best friend, Manny Machado's best friend, is going to the Yankees, and then Manny Machado follows it up by following the Yes Network, you know that it's pretty much confirmed that he is going to the Yankees. Now, the caveat to that is he followed and then unfollowed the Yankees. So to be honest with you, I just think these guys are having fun with us. Like, we're just trying to report the news, man. Can you just give us some straight answers? Why do you have to follow and unfollow and just play with us? You know what? It's kind of fun. It's actually pretty entertaining. So you know what? Do you, Manny? Do you? Again, after signing Troy Tulowitski to be your shortstop, I would have to assume that he would be their starting shortstop for the remainder of the season, at least until DD comes back. Would you put Manny Machado at third base? I'm not really too sure. Again, I've talked about this in previous videos. I think that it's the perfect fit because, again, not a lot of people like Manny Machado. He is kind of the Darth Vader. He is the Anakin Skywalker of baseball, and he is going to the dark side very quick. He used to be one of the favorite players, you know, in the league. Everyone loved Manny Machado, and then he just started doing some stupid stuff. So this was the first moment. I'll roll it right now.
Second base, Jones will go towards third base. Donaldson, who is going to tag him and get words. Machado slammed the helmet down. He thought that Donaldson. You don't usually see that play in the infield, Mike, where the infield...
And then kind of the rest is history. After this, we just kind of looked at Manny Machado a different way. Like, what's this guy's deal? I mean, he's been hyped up for his entire life. It's not like he has a chip on his shoulder. He's just a weird guy. He's a mean guy. That's all I can say. So yeah, that was kind of an interesting story that we had to bring up. The first one being that Troy Tulowitski signs with the Yankees. Then Manny Machado follows and unfollows the Yes Network, the main broadcasting channel for the Yankees. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Ooh, more free agency news. So the top two free agents going into 2019 and 2018, if we count that as well, was Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. So we just talked about Manny Machado, and the other big fish, Bryce Harper. So currently, right now, as you are watching this video, Bryce Harper is in Philadelphia meeting with the Phillies. And I think that this would be a perfect fit. If you guys are Phillies fans out there, I would be pretty confident about my chances to sign Bryce Harper, because if we look at their roster right here, we can see that in left field, they could put Andrew McCutchen. In center field, they have Odubel Herrera. He was on fire to begin the season. I thought that Odubel was going to be an MVP candidate. He was playing that well for the Phillies. And then in right field, we can see that there's Nick Williams, who is pretty much a liability unless there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound. So if you can get Bryce Harper in right field and be able to shift them back and forth, have a duel in center, have Andrew McCutchen go from left to right and Bryce Harper go from right to left, it's one of those things that it's the perfect fit. The rotation is a little bit I mean, Aaron Nola's amazing. Jake Arrieta had a pretty rough year. Nick Pivetta, Vince Velasquez, so they're going to have a rough time on the starting rotation side if Aaron Nola doesn't repeat what he did in 2018. But they already have Maikel Franco, who has shown some promise. He has a pretty high ceiling. Hasn't lived up to it just yet. They traded for Gene Segura. Gene, the hit machine. This man is probably the most underrated player in all of baseball. The man hits 300. He gets you 15 home runs, steals you some bags. He has a pretty good glove over there at shortstop. So I think that's a pretty solid trade right there. We have Jorge Alfaro, who probably has the best arm in all of baseball at the catching position. And then, of course, kind of the heart and soul of the Phillies is Rhys Hoskins, who has the most home runs, I think, to start his career ever, or he might be like top 5. Don't quote me on that, but Rhys Hoskins, he's no joke when it comes to hitting the ball very far. So what do you guys think? Should Manny Machado go to the Yankees? Should he stay with the Dodgers? Should he go to a different team? Do you think that Bryce Harper would be a good fit in Philly? Let me know in the comment section down below, because we're moving on to the next story, which is also pretty juicy. I brought up Jorge Alfaro and the fact that he probably has the best arm at the catching position, but if we're talking about catchers, the best overall catcher right now, I feel bad because Buster Posey has been injured, but Buster Posey is no longer the best catcher in all of baseball. I think the title now belongs to JT Realmuto of the Miami Marlins, who is the lone star out in Miami. I feel so bad for him, but they're trying to trade him right now. In 2018, he had 21 home runs, he had 74 RBIs, he had a 277 batting average, he has a pretty good glove as well. And oh yeah, if you guys are fans of MLB The Show, he has 74 speed, which is insane for a catcher. So if you need a catcher that can do everything and more, JT Realmuto is your guy. So there's two teams right now linked to JT Realmuto. The LA Dodgers, who are probably not going to sign Yasmani Grandal, they could use him, and the Houston Astros. I will say right now, if the Houston Astros get JT Realmuto, I am not watching baseball. We pretty much have the Warriors of baseball. It's just not fair because they already signed Michael Brantley. They have Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander. If they re-sign Dallas Keuchel, who knows? But if they can get JT Realmuto on their squad, I will be upset. Now, they have the prospects for both the Dodgers and the Astros. The Dodgers, they have a man named Alex Verdugo. If you guys have never heard of him, here's some highlights.
1-1, line drive, base hit, left field.
Parra lifts a fly ball to left field. Alex Verdugo lays out.
Verdugo with a fly ball, well hit to left center. It's well hit, and it is gone, a home run.
And then on the Astros side, there's a player named Kyle Tucker.
And that one is skied fairly deep into center field. Fincher racing back. He's at the track. He looks up. That ball's gone. And it was still 7 offensive innings as Tucker smacks one fairly deep in a right field. Call racing back. He's at the warning track. He looks up. That ball's gone.
2-2, swinging a high drive, deep right center.
He has an older brother who also played for the Astros, I believe. His name is Preston Tucker, which is my name as well, so you know he's the greatest baseball player of all time. But they both have prospects that they can ship in return for JT Realmuto. But the Marlins, they are not going to trade Realmuto unless they get a top prospect or an already MLB-ready talent. So we'll see how that goes. What do you guys think of that? So we talked about all the juicy stuff. What we're going to do to end this video and to conclude everything is we're going to talk about a player that might, I don't think he has a chance to make the Hall of Fame, but I read an article from Cup 4 saying that Rick Ankiel has a chance to make the Hall of Fame. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. There's no way that a guy with like 400 hits and 264 innings pitched is going to make the Hall of Fame. No way. But Rick Ankiel was a very interesting case. It was a very heartwarming story because when he first came up in the big leagues, Rick Ankiel was a young, promising pitcher, and he got what's called the yips. So the yips pretty much means, like, let's say that you're throwing a pitch, you feel like you have someone else's arm on your arm. So it's not even you throwing it. The ball goes exactly where it wants to. So he pretty much forgot how to pitch, and then he retrained himself over time to become an actual like position player. So he had 21 home runs, I think, one year. He had a pretty solid career as a hitter. He had an absolute cannon in the outfield. So Rick Ankiel, a really good story that if you guys have a dream, don't ever give up on it, whether it means being a pitcher or a hitter or just overcoming adversity, don't ever give up. So I thought that was kind of a fun way to conclude the video, kind of start your 2019 on a positive note. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of everything that we talked about? We have Troy Tulowitski to the Yankees. We have Manny Machado following and unfollowing the Yes Network. Is he messing with us? Does he mean it? We also have JT Realmuto and the stalemate. Are the Marlins going to trade him? And then obviously the biggest news I think of today, Bryce Harper is meeting with the Phillies. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I will catch you guys in the next episode of MLB Recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit that sub button. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Peace out.